He didn't tell me it was an ATV trail.
Let's see how many times he's cameraman out in the cold before we switch back.
I came across a rock shelf. Oh no, don't tell me I can't fit in here. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, that is pretty. Wow. And I had to bust them rocks out. Man, I didn't realize it was gonna be this far back here. Some of them were the size of like Volkswagens. Gotta be kidding me. Oh, that is pretty. Wow. Oh, yeah. All right, of all times for someone to get stuck Friday afternoon. Hey guys, Kapper here. Welcome back and welcome to the channel. Today's going to be a fun video. We're going to talk about our 2022 Polaris Ranger Northstar Ultimate. Now the Northstar Ultimate is the highest level of advancement and comfort that Polaris makes. It is a few years old now. We're in 2025 right now, but I'm going to go over some things and I'm going to talk about probably about 5 things that I don't really like about it, but it's still been a great machine. So let's get into it. One of the things on the inside that I don't like is there's some quality issues there. The dashboard is kind of separating where the switches all go in, and I don't feel like tearing into it myself, but it's kind of peeled itself away and it doesn't like click back in or whatever. So again, was that COVID era quality or lack thereof? I don't know, but I don't really like it. It'd be nice to get it tweaked up. But anyways, I digress. It's loud. It's loud, and I even took and put several layers of sound deadening on it to try and reduce that noise. It's a really high whiny engine. Hey guys, Kapper here. Welcome back. This is going to be another vicarious Polaris Northstar Ultimate vlog. So probably 6-8 months ago, maybe longer, I put some sound deadening in my 22 Northstar Ultimate crew, and it definitely worked. Also, I got this gym mat from a buddy of mine. It's the industrial heavy duty stuff, and it's almost a 1/2 inch thick. So I decided to continue the sound deadening project by making floor mats out of this industrial gym mat, which will also keep the floors cleaner and easier to clean, but it should provide even more sound deadening as well. And I mean, for a $35,000 machine, I guess I would have thought it could have been a little quieter. I mean, you could buy a pickup truck for that price. So I think it could have been a little quieter. Maybe the newer ones are, but it's only 2.5 years old. The shifting of it is a little wonky. I've heard now on the 25s they've improved the shifting, and my next gripe, the power steering on it. My buddy just got a brand new one, my buddy Greg, and he loves it. He said the power steering, you could just one-hand it like this, you know, like kind of like a car or a truck, and the shifting is smooth as butter. So the shifting lever could have been improved. I mean, 2022 is, as far as I'm concerned, should have all the technology we have built into it for that price. And the power steering could, because we use it for work a lot, so the power steering really does make a difference. You know, when you're working food plots or working up fields, you're going back and forth, or like if you were plowing snow, which we haven't done it yet, but it could happen, back and forth. So I mean, I like the shifting on the Polaris, that it's all in line. That's really cool, but it's a little bit wonky. All right, my next thing that I'm not really 100% happy with, it's kind of a good problem to have, but the blower on the heating, and if you research this on any vlogs, it's too high. The lowest setting, I'm going to show you here in just a second, the very lowest setting sounds like the very highest setting in your pickup truck. You know, so when you pay $35,000 and you want a kind of a quieter machine, just turn the fan down a couple notches, Polaris. It's really not that big a deal, but take a listen for yourself at how it sounds on the very lowest setting of the fan. These heating, that's low. That's on totally low. I know a lot of people have said the same thing, but needs a lower fan. There's just no doubt. I can go a little faster now that I'm coming on the same track. I'm in low range for the rescue. So I couldn't find my battery remote control, so that's why I always have them put a hard switch on. You good? All right, hang on a sec. Let's get into some of the issues we uncovered on our walk around, inspections, and the first ride here. So the first thing I noticed, it is a much stiffer ride. I had them put the shocks in the outside holes, which actually that's how it came from the factory. I guess the new ones are coming in the outside holes. The radio, FM does not receive anything. It gets one channel, 88.5. I called the dealer on that, and they've had issues with a few others. There's only been a few of these out so far. They changed the antenna to an interior one, and I got a bad feeling that it just don't work. But they're going to call up to Polaris, look at options. They may end up putting an external antenna on. I mean, I realize most people use Bluetooth, but I do, just when I jump in for a short errand, I crank on the FM. So that was kind of disappointing, and we'll see. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the positive stuff, some of the reasons that I bought it. I don't want you to think I'm just beating this thing up, but top 5 things are things that I would love to see Polaris change. So now on to the positive. After 2.5 years or so, this thing has really been a beast. First and foremost, the biggest thing is the comfort, the ride. Man, we've had some rough terrain on our farms. We do land investing, and we do flip farms, and we do land projects that are in very, very rough terrain. The ride is just super smooth. My back is wrecked, and I operate machines, so I know the difference on how all these machines feel, like a track loader or a skid steer or a tractor. And soon we got a bulldozer coming. So I get jostled around a lot, but the Polaris is the absolute smoothest riding machine on this entire farm, even smoother than my pickup truck. So the suspension is great. It's got really good ground clearance. The skid plate on the bottom and the rock sliders have been a savior. I bottomed it out many times on rocks underneath us. Now we're here in the Ozarks. So that's been really good. The cab is sealed up pretty well. The doors, from rain and snow. I think it might have dripped a little bit. Rain on the windshield, if I remember right, on one heavy rain event. But overall, it's sealed up pretty good. And I also happen to have lung disease. So the dust, as you've seen in one of the videos, keeping that dust out is very important. So the rubber seals on the doors are pretty darn good, for a side-by-side. The ground clearance is definitely cool, and I know the newer ones keep getting better and better, but I've had really no issues with the ground clearance. Like I said, the skid plate has saved me if I do hit a big rock, but so far it's not been an issue. The towing capacity is more than enough. I've actually towed my trailers around, moving them around, that are a lot heavier than the towing capacity. I don't remember if it was 15 or 2,500 pounds, but either way, I've moved my big trailer around, which is almost 5,000 pounds. with no issue with that Polaris. So it's been a beast. Reliability, 100%. Never had a problem, never died out on me, never overheated. You know, I've put it through a lot of tests with our land management and stuff. Haven't done any really like long rides, you know, like a 20 or 30 or 50 mile ride. I'd love to someday, but we mostly use this thing for work around the farms, and it's been 100% reliable. Never had an issue with it breaking down or not starting, none of that whatsoever. So that's it in a nutshell. I don't know how many hours we got, 200-300 hours maybe, I don't know. Been 2.5 years, but it's been a very great machine, reliable machine. Like I said, if they would tweak those 5 points I made, which they may have done all of them. I know, like talking to my buddy, he just loves his Zoo 25. The shifting and the power steering, he told me they totally changed them over. That's 2 out of the 5 right there. I live here in Missouri, and there's a really cool radio station, Jack FM. You may have heard of it. Honestly, I'd love to get that on my Polaris in the radio, because I get it in my tractors and I get it in the excavator. So the radio, I mean, you know, if you're going to advertise that you have an FM radio, it really should work. So hopefully this helps you guys on making your decisions. I got a new Can-Am ATV, and I love the thing. Someday I might look at trading in the Polaris for a Can-Am, because now other manufacturers are coming out with the full HVAC system, so you'll have heat and air in cab units. So anyways, just food for thought. Best of luck. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, leave me a comment. I would appreciate that, and take care. Enjoy the outdoors. All right, thanks.